Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I am your ever-loving host, Shorty, and today we're going to look at another Vault Comics horror one. Something Crawled Out. Now, if you've been following this for a while, you know not only do I really like horror comic books, horror in general for that matter, I really have enjoyed what Vault have been doing the past couple of years. Starting with Autumnal, which absolutely blew my mind. It's become my go-to recommendation for anyone looking for a comic book that's got a very strong horror vibe to it. And then the Nightfall double feature with Cemeterians and I forget the name of the other one, but both of those were fantastic stories. I kind of go in expecting good things from Vault Horror, is basically what I'm saying here. Unfortunately, this one is not a great one. I don't want to come down like too heavy on it. There's a lot of stuff I did like about it. There's also a big gaping hole in the middle of it, which is worth talking about because I think it would affect how I'd ever be able to recommend to someone. Because we start with this really nice sequence where find out it's a dream sequence stroke remembrance, and it sets up some family dynamics in our two main characters, and we get some nice play on horror kind of thing, and then wake up realizing it is a nightmare. Then we get a day in the life of our main character, our protagonist. And they are an interesting character. Eddie, or Edith as a given name, but gone by Eddie. And it kind of made me, at the start of it, thinking, oh, are we going to deal like overtly with gender identity or gender presentation here? And we do kind of, but not in any really overt way. She's called Eddie, but she's very much a tomboy. She is femme, but presents in a way which is a little bit more like clothes hanging off her. Everyone calls her Eddie, people call her dude. But she is still her father's daughter, and is still Edith, but everyone just calls her Eddie. And I kind of like that it does take some time to get to the crux of some people's issues with gender presentation, where it is never going to be as simple as people think it is. It's never going to be even a more bigger, complicated binary. It isn't just that this is a girl who dresses like a guy. It's somebody who's comfortable in their own style of clothing and presents in a certain way. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm down with this, I'm enjoying it. But then over the course of the day, like a lot happens, but also nothing happens. And it reminds me of some great writing advice I saw a while ago, and I always struggle to remember exactly where I saw this for the very first time, but it's not uncommon to hear it, which is to ask yourself a question when you're creating a story. Is this the most exciting thing, or one of the most exciting things that's happened to our main character? If not, why aren't you telling me that instead? And here we do get a sense of that. I like day in the life of stories. You don't have to go too far back in my reviews to hear me reference to my favourite movies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Empire Records, for doing such a good job of taking just one day of snapshotting some amazing things that's happened to all these characters. And in this, it's kind of the opposite of that. It is just a day. Just a day that happens. We get, yes, some ideas of her family dynamics, we get some ideas of her economic situation, who her friends are, some stuff that's going on in her town, some people who may or may not like her, and who her friend is. And then we get to the evening when she goes to her job, and all of a sudden it kind of picks up a bit here. We start getting some really nice drama, some trauma coming into it, some tension gets built up really effectively, and then we get to the ending and it's like, oh my god, this is really, really good now. I genuinely like what happened for a bunch of reasons, but then I do kind of think, well, why did I spend so long getting here? Felt like a very long walk through very uninteresting scenery, and it's disappointing. Because I'm going to recommend something, I don't like this idea of, oh no, you're going to really like it after episode 7. Like, if I'm going to recommend a TV series to somebody, I'm not going to expect them to sit through a bunch of stuff which I can't bring myself to say is good. It either starts strong and drags you in, or you're kind of selling it short in some way, and I don't like that. Because it is good at those moments where it is good. Like, we have some fantastic character development, we have some really nice tight dialogue, we have some really nice little bits of world building and story arc setups going on there, but it doesn't do enough with it. It feels like we could cut out almost the entirety of the day sequence and tell a much better, tighter story. Also, the artwork works better in those scenes as well. In the first bit where we get some like hinting of supernatural stuff going on, and we get some really nice play with camera angles or point of view angles, it looks much more dramatic and interesting. And when we get to the end of it, we get the night and we get a much better richness of colour. Well, not much better, just a better used richness of colour throughout. And when we get to horror sequences and we get to the payoff of the tension built up, the snap of it is really, really good. But through the day, even the artwork doesn't feel like it's doing as much with it. And it's good artwork throughout. It's a style which I kind of like. It mixes a more like American-esque style comic book kind of vibe to it, but with a lot of Japanese influence looking stuff in there. It doesn't look like either 100%. It's either somebody who's taking their influences from two sides and is making it their own, or just generally has made their own, and I appreciate the confidence in that 100%. But like I say, I'd struggle to recommend it to people because it feels like they'd struggle in the same way I would. I'm probably going to give issue 2 a go. I want to see if now we've got past this day in the life of the tension can build up and we can get some like really better emotional beats going on. But I can't say I'm as confident as I was when I first picked up this issue one. Anyway, that's my review done for now. Make sure you do the social links or you're going to miss out on the reviews. Until I see you again, look after yourself, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.